everyone, and welcome back to the Metal Coffee Shop soundstage here at METALCON 2024. My name's Karen Edwards, and I would love to welcome you, Brian, from Vicwest to the soundstage. Brian Glenn, welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me.
Can you introduce yourself? Tell us what you do there.
Certainly. So, Director of Sales with Vicwest for both the United States and Canada. We're steel people, steel manufacturers to support the commercial sector, agricultural sector, and residential applications.
So what kind of products do you have?
So, primarily roll form steel profiles is the lion's share of what we do as a business. For us is, how do we separate ourselves from, that traditional roll forming, so to speak, and that's through innovation. And so we've created some wonderful new architectural profiles as it relates to steel siding, as well as steel tile roofing applications more for a residential opportunity, and, continuing to grow there within.
So I know that steel is really, and metal in general, is just growing in popularity.
Absolutely.
And I love the products that you guys have. And we do have a little sneak peek here.
Certainly.
Let's talk about this.
Yes. So this is our Blair siding system. And when we started this with a 5 1/4 plank, as you can see in the middle. And so the evolution of that has become an 8-inch as well as a 3 1/4. And this lends to, creativity from an architectural standpoint, and certainly providing different options to give a different appeal and aesthetic to whether it's a commercial application or a residential application.
So I don't know if you can see this, but this looks like wood.
Absolutely, absolutely. So in the R&D process for this, it was a top priority that we ensured we came up with the most realistic wood grains and certainly matte and SMP finishes, and we partner with basically globally with Sherwin-Williams. And so, in fact, we've established a system here in our coatings that it's 16,000 pixels per millimeter to be able to achieve these realistic wood grains.
Wow, yeah, and this is, I'm sure, just gaining popularity.
Massively. And so, the next step that I'm happy to speak to today was, these are typically used in accent pieces, as I'm sure, a lot of the folks watching will notice. And so how do we capture the full envelope? And so we've now developed a lap siding as well as a board and batten system that will have the similar finishes, similar options, again, to capture the full envelope of the application that we're succeeding.
I tell you, board and batten is hot stuff right now.
It really is.
Wow.
It really is.
All right, let's take this down.
Cheers.
I mean, this is beautiful, and you probably can't see, but look at all those color options.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And the great part of the value proposition on this as well is a 40-year warranty.
Okay.
And so that's from its performance as well as its coatings. So, one thing we always say is that, these are going to be around a lot longer than you and I. So it's definitely gaining an awful lot of popularity.
That's really cool. I'm glad that you brought that. We've got another, wow, that's heavy. I'll let you lift that.
No worries. So as we spoke about the roofing tile, we've created a collection called True Nature. And again, similar thought as far as the natural look and appeal. And what we're showing today is our coastal wave. And, this is, gaining an awful lot of momentum in some of the southern regions in the United States as a direct conversion from a clay tile. And so another part of this is we're now at a 50-year warranty on this, and when you're looking at a conversion from an asphalt, for example, the gap in cost is closing tremendously, and it goes with actually all of our products. Certainly the two that we're chatting about is the testing that goes into it. So these are Miami-Dade approved. These have been tested upwards of 220 mile an hour from a dynamic wind uplift standpoint, and so the roof will blow off before our tiles do. And so, the last tidbit, Karen, to point out here is that, unfortunately, with the weather systems that do come through these areas, certainly our thoughts go out to all those affected. But when we look at HOAs, we look at insurances that are incredibly growing in expense. These will drop your premiums tremendously. Working within some of the HOAs, we've heard upwards of 300%.
Wow!
If they actually convert to our steel tile.
Well, you hear so much about, especially in Florida, that insurance companies are pulling out, right? They're like, like,
time.
we're not going to insure this property anymore because we know we're going to have to put out some money.
Exactly.
So this is a product that they're saying, okay,
Yep.
we like this.
Absolutely. And so then the other add is you look at various different weather systems, is its non-combustibility. Of course, that comes with the steel substrate. So
And it looks like clay tile.
absolutely. Absolutely, we're having a tremendous amount of success with it. This currently, what we're showing here is a 28 gauge product. This is offered in 26 gauge as well.
So let's talk a little bit about other parts of the country that use clay tile. Are you seeing some more adoption there, like Southwestern?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we certainly are, and to jump into those other Western systems, we're seeing more and more fires that are taking place, and certainly on both sides of the border, we're noticing and watching images, and again, I don't want to say too much about it, but a lot of the homes that don't get affected as fires come through typically have a metal roof, and so that's another big understanding that we need to continue to promote, Karen, that as our weather systems are shifting, are changing, steel is really that strong substrate that you want to maintain or certainly consider.
So how are you guys inspired to create new concepts and ideas? And we'll put this down.
Absolutely.
I'm curious about that R&D aspect.
Indeed. And so for us, we've been around almost 100 years, and we developed our business in the agricultural sector, and so how do we continue to attack various different verticals? And that's building out our commercial, industrial, and institutional offerings, and then, as I mentioned, into the residential. And so nothing earth-shattering by any means, but again, how do we continue to listen to the market, understand architectural thoughts and designs, whether it's from architects themselves, land developers, interior designers, and so we do get a lot of our inspiration certainly through them, certainly through the great team that we have here at Vicwest, and we're also very proud to be a part of the Kingspan Group, which is obviously a global leader in building envelopes. So they have an outstanding R&D facility in Ireland, where we're born and raised at Kingspan, and so there's a tremendous amount of folks that are much smarter than me that are constantly looking at how do we improve. And the next, I shouldn't say the next, a big part of our culture is also the sustainability aspects of it, and from the application, performance, and certainly the manufacturing processes. That's something that we're incredibly proud to be a global leader on. And so when we consider new profiles, new products, it has to feed into that model. That is, being able to provide that embodied carbon story, that cradle to grave, and be able to fully recycle and reuse, our steel products, our various insulation products for that matter. And so that also is a massive inspiration into, how do we develop new products and profiles for the market.
Yeah, because, I don't think people always think about the sustainability part of metal, right? They think about the durability, the longevity, the beauty, right?
Certainly.
You can do a lot with it. But yeah, it's recyclable at the end of its life, right?
Absolutely. And so all the steel, we're partnered in North America with AMD, obviously one of the biggest in the world. And so, about every coil we buy has about 85% recycled material into it, going back into, we look at the embodied carbon footprint and really what the meaning of embodied carbon is, and that also circles back to what are we doing from a manufacturing standpoint, how are we roll forming, how are we creating, and what are we doing there. And a few quick examples for you, Karen, is that just about all of our facilities in Canada are fully supported by solar PV. We're now harvesting all of our own rainwater for non-potable consumption, so all of the toilet uses, for example, at all our facilities are supported by harvested rainwater. And all of that excess rainwater goes to our agricultural communities that we manufacture in. We've just about converted all of our propane forklifts to electric. Our entire fleet is EV as well, and our carbon footprint has been reduced by about 50%.
Wow. That's really impressive. You know, it's really important, I think, for not talk the talk, but walk the walk. And
That's
you guys
exactly
certainly
it.
are doing that.
Absolutely, and that being said, it's a heavy investment. This is right out of our pocket, and you hear the buzzwords. You hear about the EPDs and the ability to buy those. We create them. So to that point, it's not just something that we're supposed to do. It's something that we believe in. We need to do, and it's a massive part of our culture.
I love it.
Here at Vicwest.
So if I'm a metal contractor and I'm seeing Vicwest here for the first time, maybe, and I'm like, that's something that I want to offer. How do I get started doing that?
No, absolutely. And so, we do sell our products through the distribution channel. Primarily to call it your average contractor in a residential application. In the ICI channels, we do work very closely with the architectural world to ensure we achieve specification for our products. And so we have business development teams to support that. We certainly have outside sales teams that are working with all the major retailers and two-step distributors as well. And of course, our presence online. So we're not too hard to get a hold of, and we certainly have the support systems there to point you in the right direction, as well as all the technical services that we have in-house as well.
Yeah, and you're part, you said, so Sherwin-Williams, you're part of their Metal View program,
Indeed.
Which is a really great program to help contractors get into metal and be successful and add it to their business. So you definitely want to check that out. Vicwest has a full directory on metalcoffeeshop.com.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So you can find their contact information there. And their booth is just right beside us in the 800 row. Do you know the number?
906.
Oh, 906.
Yes,
they
so
are in 900.
kitty corner here.
Yeah,
Certainly.
906. If you're coming out to METALCON, stop by and see this stuff in person because it really is very impressive.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And we look forward to meeting all of you.
Yeah, thank you for being here today,
You betcha.
Brian. This was a great interview, and I learned a lot. So
Fantastic.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and stay tuned because we are going to be broadcasting live all day today and all day tomorrow. We'll see you next time.